Welcome to the Nasboys podcast. I'm your host, Mike, aka Mike Fob Fan 101, with my good friends and co-host Christian, aka Savage NASCAR,
What it do, Nasboys crew?
and Cam, aka Noticed_Cam.
Howdy, y'all.
So, anyways, let's get down to business. We're going to talk about some NASCAR this weekend. We got a crazy weekend at Daytona. Final week of the regular season for the Cup Series. Not sure when the Xfinity Series is in their final week of the regular season, but I do know that they had one of their last weeks. So let's kick it off with the Xfinity Series. What did you guys think of that late night race?
I'm glad I didn't watch it, but I heard it was just a long race, a lot of wrecks, and I was at work and I was getting off of work when I get done doing race dervish and it's usually late. I was like, okay, the Xfinity race probably over, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't over, just a bunch of wrecks. And I kind of predicted the Cup race to be a wreck fest. I didn't predict the Xfinity race to be one. But I don't know really what to say about Daytona anymore, to be honest with y'all, because they just wreck there about every about every race. There's like 15 cars in a pileup, or at least 6 or 5 different pileups in a race. So I don't really know what else to add. And to be honest with you, I forgot who won it.
Yeah, no, I didn't really get to watch it. I kind of watched a little bit of it, but when I did, it was just like caution after caution after caution after caution, and it got really boring really quickly.
Yeah,
So
I watched like the first stage, but then I had to go to sleep because I had to wake up very early. But it was all right from what I saw. Typical Xfinity racing at Daytona. You had your crashes still, even with this dumb package. I gotta make fun of the Xfinity Series Super Speedway package every time they go to a super speedway. Jeremy Clements was the winner of the race, which was very
Oh,
shocking. I knew it. Listen, I knew it. I was gonna go to sleep early and I was gonna miss like a crazy winner or like a crazy flip or something. And I was right. I woke up, I saw Jeremy Clements won the race. I'm like, what? But Jeremy Clements got his win somewhat taken away. It doesn't count for the playoffs because there was something wrong with the engine of the car. But he still got to keep the win, which I thought was stupid because I thought NASCAR had that rule of if you get something wrong, then you have to get the win away. So Ryan Sieg is back in the playoffs now. He was barely hanging on in the playoffs, and then Clements won, taking him out, but now Sieg is in. So not sure really what to say about that. I know that Clemens' team is appealing it, so we'll see what happens with that. I hope he can get in because it's always cool to see an underdog story like that.
definitely. And Jeremy Clemens, he's sort of near my hometown, Spartanburg, South Carolina. That's where I guess the team started out there at. If I could speak English for once, uh, but yeah, I was so happy to see him win, and then he got disqualified or penalized, whatever. I feel like they should have given the win to Timmy Hill. According to the rule book, they would give the win to the guy who finished second for that penalty. But I guess NASCAR is like, no, we have to hate Timmy Hill. The GOAT, we have to hate him. But anyways, that's a joke. But yeah, I agree with the penalty, but then again, I don't know everything about the rule book. I don't even know what the violation was specifically. I don't know where it is on the car. So if y'all can educate us with that, comment down below. But Cam,
Yeah.
what do you have to say about it?
yeah, I just want to say first of all, congrats to my man Timmy Hill. You know what I mean? Getting a average daily race dub for Timmy Hill. This is on average what he does. Okay, don't ever disrespect the legend NASCAR, or I will come down and hunt you. And that goes for every little single person out there working and typing the little fingers off for NASCAR, right? Um, and yeah, I think that I don't really know the whole situation on Jeremy Clements. Like I heard what happened, but I do agree. It's kind of like I'm kind of like Christian. I do agree with the penalty, but at the same time, I don't really know the rule book that much. I mean, I feel like NASCAR sometimes is just like the NFL when they change the rules every 5 seconds. So
Right.
it's like every new year you're wondering, oh, is this still the same? So because of that, I do think that Timmy Hill did deserve the win though, and yeah, I don't know if not that, then Clemens hopefully gets it back. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Sieg's been really consistent this season, and he made the playoffs last year. So I was hoping he would get in again, and he did.
Right. So far, at least. I'm not sure if that was their regular season finale, but I don't know. It's weird across the three series because they start the playoffs at different times. I don't know why that is, but okay. Um, and then with the NASCAR rulebook thing, I mean, it's very inconsistent. I say this every year. Every time something happens, it's very inconsistent. It's stupid. They don't put out the yearbook. They don't put out, or not the yearbook, the rule book, and they have problems with like driver contracts. They don't say like how long a driver signed for, so you can't speculate who's going to be a free agent and who's not. It's just that's just really weird how NASCAR is secretive like that. Like I both like it and I dislike it because people will always complain about pay, but at the same time, people want to know the exact amount people get paid. And we especially need to know the rules, especially that's you can't keep that secret from us. We got to figure out something with the rules. Like we know the basic rules, but we don't know all the rules in specific. So we can't figure out what penalties will be out there. They just throw it at us at the last minute. So now let's take a look at what you guys have to say. 6 of you said great, aka 67%. 22% of you said good. 0% of you said mess, that's okay, and 11% of you said bad. Henry 24257 says glad Clements got the win, 9 out of 10. No driver of the day. I don't know Gregson, he was doing pretty good, but then he wrecked.
To help here, coming for AJ Allmendinger, and he's going to give it right to Noah Gregson into the wall. He'll go. Oh man! Big hit for Gregson, and the caution comes out again.
Jeremy Clements getting the win too, even though it doesn't count for the playoffs. All are really my picks, but I didn't watch it long enough to really figure out who was the driver of the day.
Same. I have the same statement as you, but I will say a nominee for driver today, AJ Allmendinger, because he his interview post race, man, you could just tell he just shared his passionate displeasure of super speedways, and he was
Yeah.
not very happy. Unfortunately, he used some language, but he was not very happy, and as you could tell, he was just happy to get out there because Xfinity racing at Daytona now is just a mess, and he pretty much said that in his interview. So he's my driver today.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion, but shout out to AJ. But for me, I'm gonna have to go with the GOAT, Timmy Hill, because well, it's Timmy Hill. Come on, who doesn't like the guy?
Well, yes, Christian, I did. I know which interview you're talking about. I probably put it on the screen. We should censor that, by the way. But yes, I did see your the video that you mentioned, and he was very respectful about it. He wasn't like other drivers and whining about it, but he did say he hates super speedways, which I can see why he would, but he was very respectful with what happened afterwards. I love the way that he explained it to the reporters, and AJ Allmendinger is overall a classy guy. Really like that guy. But now let's talk about the Cup race, regular season finale. Pretty crazy race from what I saw. The race got delayed till 10 in the morning, which a lot of people were upset about and of course complaining about. Yep. So what did you guys think of it?
A disaster, Mike.
Yeah, I agree. This was just a I think this is probably one of the worst Daytona weekends I've seen in a long time. From everything not really working out to just being a mess. I didn't even really get to watch a lot of it. Kind of sucks, but I was not able to watch a lot of it as I was busy doing what people have when they have a life, not watching stuff at 10 a.m. in the morning. So thanks, NASCAR.
Yeah, I mean, first time to put on some sunglasses for Mike's screen blinding me, but anyways, I will say that NASCAR fans have been wanting races to get moved up in time, and they're like, okay, why don't we start it like we used to back in the 90s, 80s, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock? And then they move it to 10 a.m. because they know it's going to rain. And then fans are like, why start like Formula One race? Just whining like usual casual fans. But Anyways, it was a shame that the Saturday night races did get rained out, and Daytona in August always rains. I don't know why they can't move it back to July like they used to, July 4th weekend like it's supposed to be. But that's just with new ownership and now with NASCAR, whoever most people that run NASCAR now have no idea what they're doing, and it's ridiculous. But anyways, so the race, I thought Blaney was out in that first wreck. I thought he was out. I was like, oh.
Look at that front two there. Chase that flip-flop from what we saw earlier. Oh, 43.
And around goes the 11, the 20 also around. Ryan Blaney caught up in this in the 12.
Back here, they're wrecking.
Truex
That's huge. Nothing's gonna hit you here.
barely working his way through there.
Did Blaney get damage here?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Damage to the 12 of Ryan
Steering
Blaney.
wheel is 180 degrees.
Oh no, 180 degrees.
He's
that
done,
means,
guys. Look at the right front corner.
Oh, that
it's
means
turned
he's-
in and not rolling, Jeff.
yeah, 180 degrees means the steering wheel is turned. The front tires are not aiming where they needed to aim. That means there's damage. How much damage, Steve? That's the question. Is this repairable? We won't know till he gets to pit road.
Yeah, we'll see if it's just a toe link, which is a simple repair for the front, or for the rear. But in the front, much more complicated because of the way the steering works. Whatever is broken on the right front, is repairable. The question is it repairable in 6 minutes?
Right.
I gotta come see you this time.
Right here, he's going to come
Look
to
at that
us.
right front sticking out.
Let's take a look at this wreck, though, and see how this damage occurred.
Levicar's pushing the 43, just gets him loose. And then he gets very loose. Just chaos behind him. Guys trying to check up. And when you check up, you get ran into.
Second up, stay up high, go around it.
Wow.
Truex drives all through this. Look at the 19 there on the right side of the screen. He works his way through all of this, I believe, without any issues.
Junior, he believes only flat spotting the tires, only tire damage on the 19.
It's like, come on. They just want
3 as well.
Haley trying to get this 43 to push him.
An aggressive blocking from Justin Haley now. Oh, and around goes the 43. He collects the 22.
My goodness.
And the caution will come out again.
guys.
Cam, you want to go ahead?
Oh, you can go ahead, Mike. I'll say my
okay.
piece after. I just felt like I already said something, so it's your turn.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna just say, like, I didn't get a chance to watch this race. I was really, really looking forward to watching the full race, but no, I called it. I was like, something's gonna happen. The one night I'm free, something's gonna happen. And lo and behold, it rains. And and Saturday night, and then I have to work 7 to 12, so I missed the first half of the race, and I don't come home till like 30 to go. Oh wait, so I hate to make this about me, and I hate to rant, but I just want to bring this up really quick. So I come home, right? I come home at like 12:30-ish, I want to say, and there's 30 laps to go in the race. And Joey Logano, I heard he had a very strong car all day. He was leading some laps. He won the first stage. That would make me very happy. But then right as I come home, right as I walk through the door, I sit down on the TV. What happens? He wrecks. And I see his car at a weird angle, and his steering wheel is locked to the left, and he has to get towed off the track. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, this is what I have to come home to. What the bleep? But anyways, race itself, didn't really get a chance to watch the first couple of stages, but I did watch the final 30 laps. Pretty intense racing. That wreck toward the end is something that I really want to talk about, as the sun is really blinding my computer right now. I'm very sorry about that. Yes, you might need to wear some glasses. I should probably get my sunglasses too. But anyways, the wreck at the end, I'm neutral about it as well, because NASCAR can't predict the weather. They're not, the weather people. They're not professionals at it. Should they have thrown the caution if they knew it was raining? Absolutely. But I don't know, because I'm not sure where the command center is for where they got to figure out cautions. I think it's in like turn 1, but then again, they can always look, and it was raining in 3, and they should have thrown the caution. But I mean, you can't grab the caution. It's not like a video game where like you can throw the caution in like 0.5 seconds. It's real life. So everybody makes mistakes, and I get that it's very frustrating to see so many drivers that were having a good day, like Daniel Suarez and Justin Haley and Stenhouse and all these other guys were having good days, and then just all of a sudden they get wrecked out because of the rain. I get it. I get that's very frustrating, but I mean, NASCAR, they can't control everything, and people should lay off NASCAR's back. But I understand why people were mad about the start time as well, because I was a little upset about it, but I didn't realize with the forecast. Because normally NASCAR, when they have rain delays, they're at noon, but that would have been right when the storm hit. So I think that was also a good move, and people should get off NASCAR's back for that, in my opinion.
I like to say that you're seeing a live look at the sun crashing down on Mike. Okay. It's just the sun is just falling down. All right. This is what it would look like for you ladies and gentlemen of a POV. The sun crashing down on Mike, because my goodness. But yeah, no, I do agree. I make a bunch of jokes about NASCAR and and all that, and how I missed the race at 10 a.m., which I'm mad about because I did miss the race. I didn't really get to watch any of it. But to be fair, it was NASCAR's best decision to make it at 10 a.m. I mean, I feel like if it would have been, no one would have complained if not. Here's the problem though. No one would have complained if NASCAR already was pushing Raiders races up to a later time, and they had it out at a better time, and then they randomly had one of those. I don't think anybody would care. But it's the fact that NASCAR's continuously had stuff like that happen. I think that's where people seem to just have a problem with it. So, but these are one of those situations where you just had to look at it and take a step back and realize, well, they tried their hardest on that one, so nothing you can do.
Agreed. I agree with both of y'all's opinions on that. And, of course, a lot of people are going to blow it out of proportion. But then again, it was raining, all the leaders just spun out of control. And then Austin Dillon just sneaks through and, gets a playoff spot. I mean, they did have another rain delay, and he ended up winning after they restarted back. But, man, I mean, I didn't feel like Dillon was the car that was going to win that race at all. But the three going back to victory lane Daytona, that's okay with me. But I mean, one thing I will say, I liked how he, he was talking about the Lord and, him being blessed and like what God had done for him and his team, because that was really cool. I mean, most drivers don't give the credit to God or give credit to their teams, So I thought that was really epic to see. But is there anything else y'all have to say about the race?
I would like to mention about Austin Dillon because, yes, he did thank God. He did thank his team, which is cool to see. But I'm just frustrated with this playoff system and and why does the sun do this when I'm talking? When I shut up, it didn't do it, but now I'm talking, so now it wants to do it. But anyways, I'm very frustrated with this playoff system. I've mentioned it in years past, but I'm going to continue again. I'm frustrated with this playoff system. Martin Truex Jr. making me lose my train of thought. Martin Truex Jr. I don't like the guy, but he deserved it. He was third or fourth. I'm not entirely sure, but he was in the top 5 in regular season points, and the guy deserved a playoff spot. Absolutely. How are you third or fourth in the regular season points and you can't even go to the playoffs? That doesn't make any sense. What sports league does that? That's like in the NFL. Let's say the Kansas City Chiefs were second in the division. They would be one of the wild cards. And then all of a sudden, the freaking Cleveland Browns win one game and they take the Kansas City Chiefs out of contention. But the Kansas City Chiefs are still fighting for the division. They just can't go to the playoffs. So it's just really stupid. I'm tired of this win and you're in crap. I think that they should go to like kind of a half-half. I think that they should do half of the regular points and half of like this, because I don't mind the chase grid. I like that they eliminate people. I think it brings drama, but I just really don't like the win and you're in. That is just awful to me. Austin Dillon does not deserve to be in the playoffs at all.
I agree. I mean, the chase has been better, in my opinion, than the playoffs the last couple of years. Even though the playoffs have provided a lot of excitement and entertainment, it's just a lot of fans are fed up with it. To be fair, and honestly, and rightfully so. The Winston Cup format, of course, since I'm an old head, is my forte. or thing that I prefer. But if anything, they should get rid of the platform match and maybe go back to the chase. I don't know. A lot of people, I want y'all to comment down below what y'all want it to be, because I'm sure all of us have a little bit of a different opinion on this.
Agreed.
All right. Well, I'm going to cut this really quick. And then when we get back, we will talk about some NASCAR news and also what we thought of the Daytona race plus playoff predictions. All right. We're back. So now let's take a look at what you guys had to say about the Cup race. 15% of you said great, 46% of you said good, 8% of you said mess/okay, and 31% of you said bad. Ouch. Henry 24257 says lots of chaos and what a regular season. 9 out of 10.
I'm
No
surprised.
drive.
Sorry, like 9 out of 10. I thought he was mad about Keselowski wrecking. I remember on the story he was complaining about it, so I'm surprised he had a 9 out of 10. That race was like a 4 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10 in my opinion, but that's my book.
Yeah. No driver of the day. Well, I mean, I would be a little biased. I got 2 driver of the day picks. Joey Logano, apparently he was doing really good, and Austin Dillon for avoiding the chaos and ending up winning the race, even though he bumped Cindric out of the way, which I don't really know how I feel about that. Because part of me feels like it's racing, but at the same time, it's a plate track, and you don't really do that on plate tracks. But I've also praised other drivers for doing it, so I can't just, criticize him for doing it. So it wasn't a terrible move.
Driver day for me, I was thinking of having Eric Jones. He was leading a lot of laps and he got taken out. Denny Hamlin, he got involved in the first wreck, but he still kept going. He ended up wrecking again. So I don't really know who to give it to be honest with you. All the drivers that would be driver today, back to the leaderboard.
Oh yeah, I don't really have a pick. I didn't really get to watch the race, but I'm gonna agree with Mike and Christian both.
What about
Yeah.
Claire? He was really good.
Cam finally showing his face. That's what I'm amazed about. I know he's shown it a couple of times on the show, but this is a rare sight, guys. Make sure you get all your make sure you get all your screenshots of him. I'm kidding. Anyways, let's talk about meme of the week this week. I've been a little busy, so I haven't really been paying too much attention to memes. I'm sure there's been some. I'm going in the chat right now, but why don't you guys say yours while I look at mine?
I'm also going to be looking.
I would say there was like the Cars reference of Lightning McQueen going through the wreck.
Get through that, McQueen! Oh, huge crash behind the leader.
Like with Dylan, that was a good meme. I think that was made by Saudi Elliott, but I may be wrong. There's just a lot of memes about the race control being blind. People, I forgot who did that. It might have been NASCAR memes IG. I'm in danger. Also, you may want about that. And then a little bit of a bias, but the one I made of Dale Jr.
That
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
that's gonna be my favorite. The Christian's Dale Jr. one, because even though it didn't, have to do with anything with the race, it was very funny.
I might have to go. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might have to go with Michael Marut's shorts. I really like his shorts that he does. I like the one. I'm trying to find it. I can't remember when I watched it, but he did do a couple of shorts, so I'll put it up on the screen.
You were able to avoid that wreck. Well, see, here's how it happened.
Jesus, take the wheel, take it from.
But he just does some funny shorts. You also check his channel out. We'd love to get him on the show, but he's very busy. So yeah. Now let's talk about our playoff predictions. So the way we're going to do this is we're all going to say like our brackets, but we're going to do it round by round instead of us rambling the whole bracket. So we'll start off with the round of 16 into the round of 12.
Awesome. So, of course, the races in the round of 16. You got Darlington this upcoming Sunday. You got Kansas, and you got Bristol. So, here's who I have winning those three races. I have different winners for all of them. I have Denny Hamlin winning at Darlington, Kyle Larson winning at Kansas, and Chase Elliott winning at Bristol. Chase Elliott's been really consistent at Bristol over the last couple of years, so I think he's going to get it. The rest of the drivers I have making it into the next round is Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Kevin Harvick, Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman, William Byron, and Christopher Bell. I do not see Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric, Austin Dillon, or Kyle Busch advancing to the next round.
So my race winners are for Darlington, Joey Logano. He had a very dominant car there at the last race. I think it was the Goodyear 400. Even though he bumped William Byron out of the way, but that's okay. Kansas, I had Kurt Busch, but he is out for the rest of the season, it appears like. So I'm going to go with a bold pick. I'm going to say Christopher Bell. Why not? Something different. And Bristol, I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick. He's been strong there the last few races there. And I just feel like Kevin Harvick is getting back on that resurgence. He's not championship level, in my opinion, but he's been much better than he was last year. So the rest of the drivers, I got Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Ryan Blaney. Getting eliminated are Chase Briscoe. If you had asked me this at the beginning of the season, I would have said Chase Briscoe would have made the round of the 8, but now he's just kind of been struggling just a tiny bit. He hasn't been the worst, but he hasn't been the best. Daniel Suarez, another guy that if you had asked me this toward the beginning of the season, I would have said that he would have made the round of 8, but I don't think he will. Austin Cindric, I felt like he was a first-round exit from the beginning, and Austin Dillon, obviously a first-round exit. So second round of 12 going into the round of 8. Oh, wait, Cam, your turn.
I'm not even ready yet, so you might have to put a pause, dude. You guys went by that way too fast. Holy crap.
I will say
I wasn't expecting you guys to go by so fast, man. Dang.
Well, I could talk about Mike's bracket real quick. I'm surprised you took Suarez out. To be honest with you, I agree with you on Cindric, Dillon, but like Kurt Busch. I took Kyle Busch out, and the reason why is just because the tracks they're going to, he has won at Darlington, but that was like 2008. Then Bristol, he hasn't won at Bristol in ages, so I just feel like Kyle Busch just won't advance. He struggled at Kansas, so I feel like he's not going to win. He may have a chance to get a top 5 at one of these tracks, but I just don't see him advancing. I could see him wrecking it on 3 of those tracks.
See, I get your points with Kyle Busch, but the thing is, I feel like he should do well enough to get points that he'll be able to get by maybe in the lower rounds. I didn't do this according to points besides the winners. I just did it like drivers I thought would advance. But with your theory there, I could see him advancing, but maybe he'd be like barely in, but not that he's not going to struggle enough to where he won't get in.
So for my round of 12, I'm going with Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Reddick, Bell, Alex Bowman, Chase Briscoe, and Kevin Harvick.
Interesting.
Solid. All right, so now we got the round of 12. Now, I do have some winners in the round 12 that are not in the playoffs. And I will say one of them's a surprise. I have Bubba Wallace winning at Texas. And I was debating about having him win at Texas or Las Vegas, but I just think Bubba is really good at intermediate tracks. So I think he's going to win that. I think Brock Keselowski's going to win at Talladega, finally getting over his slump. But I say Chase Elliott's going to win the Roval, so he gets into the next round. Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, he's really good at Talladega and the Roval and Texas. I mean, he's been really consistent at those tracks. I can see him getting in. Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, Ty Reddick, and getting in barely Daniel Suarez, because Daniel Suarez is really good at intermediate tracks as well and has been on road courses this year.
So for my round of 12, let me just get my thing up again to playoff predictions. So I have Kyle Busch winning at Texas. Talladega, I got an upset pick here. Eric Jones. He's not in the playoffs, but he did do a great job when he was there at Talladega. I believe he got wrecked out in the final lap of the Talladega race, and he would have won. But yeah, I got Eric Jones winning Talladega. Why not? And then Chase Elliott at the Roval. Everybody else making it in for the round of 8. Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Kyle Larson, and Ryan Blaney.
Huh. I'm surprised that I'm surprised that both of us didn't have Kevin Harvick advancing. If I'm correct what I heard. And I know y'all probably gonna swing hands at me for Logano. I didn't pick Logano to make it to the next round.
Now,
either.
why I'm not mad about that because I don't really get mad at other people's opinions unless they're just absolutely stupid. But why Logano? Why not Logano?
Why not Logano?
Yes, please
Oh.
explain.
Talladega, I see him getting wrecked. I see him getting wrecked at the Roval. I just don't see him doing well at the Roval. I could see him maybe doing decently at Texas. He's won there 3 or 2 times. I don't remember which one. But I just don't see him advancing at all. I just don't see it. Same thing Harvick. He's usually gets taken up and wrecks at Dega. And then the Roval, he may be mid-pack. What about you, Cam? What do you have for next round?
Elliott, Joey Logano, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain.
Okay.
All right, that's really solid. Now for the drivers to go into the championship 4, I will say that Las Vegas, Joey Logano is going to win Las Vegas, and I have Kyle Larson winning at Homestead. I feel like he from watching past races at Homestead, he's just really good on the outside lane, and I could see him dominating that race. And then Martinsville, I say Denny Hamlin gets revenge for what happened last Martinsville in the fall. I see him winning, and I feel like there's just gonna be a lot of chaos at the end of Martinsville. I feel like something's crazy is going to happen. So I think Chase Elliott gets in based off points. And here's probably the most outrageous thing that I've probably ever predicted. I have Daniel Suarez squeaking into the final 4 by maybe a couple of points. I feel like he's just based off of a wreck. I feel like he's just going to sneak in.
Nah. I don't know how I feel about that, man. Nah. Maybe the
you
round
all
of
it's gonna be
12, maybe
outrageous
even the
thing.
round of 8, but definitely not the final 4. No way, man.
And if not him, then Christopher Bell. I could see Bell getting in.
No. Oh, man, Christian, I'm not going to criticize you completely, but I'm a little shocked from that.
If I get this right, y'all have to, y'all are going to be.
I mean,
Shoot,
we're
I'm
already
not
doing
worried at all. I'm not worried at all.
I mean, shoot, we're already doing a bet, right? For the losers got to dance on IG Live, right?
Oh, for the championship, of course. We do that the last 2 years. So
I mean, shoot, if you get Suarez or Bell right in the final 4, shoot, we might have to come up with some dare. Me and Cam got to do some dare if Suarez or Bell goes in the final 4. But if not, we get to laugh at you. So, all right. Anyways, my round of 8 predictions. So Las Vegas, I got Ross Chastain winning. I think he gets over his little slump that he's been having. I mean, he's been okay. He's been a little quiet in my opinion, but he's been solid. I think that he wins. He'll get in the final 4. Homestead, I'm torn between this because now that I'm thinking about it, I had William Byron, and I think I'm going to stick with William Byron just because I don't feel like changing my pick completely. But I would not be surprised at all if Larson or even Reddick wins at Homestead because both of those guys are very, very good on the outside lane, and they just seem to ride the top. Reddick always seems to find a way to come back at Homestead and do solid, and especially with this new car making everything competitive. I wouldn't be surprised if Reddick ends up in the top 5. So I'll definitely put him in my lineup. Possibly a race winner prediction, even though I don't have him in my round of 8. So that could be another upset. But I think I'm going to stick with William Byron. I got William Byron winning again at Martinsville. So that would leave Joey Logano to point in because I think he does well on Martinsville. A little biased, but at the same time, using somewhat logic. And then I'm trying to find the last guy I had. I'm pretty sure it was Chase Elliott. Let me just... Hang on, one second, guys. I'm sorry about that.
You're all right.
And yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
was
fine.
correct. Chase Elliott. I think Chase Elliott and Joey Logano will make it in off points because they are both very good at Martinsville and somewhat Homestead and Las
Yep.
Vegas.
So I guess I'm gonna go for my round of 4, which I think is really just pretty good in my opinion. And just solid overall. William Byron, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, and Denny Hamlin. And yes,
Ooh,
Denny Hamlin is gonna fail again. He's gonna choke it again. How much you guys want to bet? He has not done it yet. He will not do it this year either. I
I
do not
agree.
think it is this year at all. No, it doesn't even feel like it. I felt like 2021 was his year, and look where we are.
I completely agree. I think Denny Hamlin's going to choke again. I don't even think he'll make it to the final 4 because I just think he'll lose, and then Chase Elliott or Logano is going to point
And
in, but I wouldn't be surprised. Even Larson could point in.
And I didn't really give my reasoning on why I picked other people until I got to the round of 4 because I feel like this is where the most important is. So for William Byron, I think that William is just he's been very solid all year, and I think that points wise he's been staying up in the front consistently, and I feel the same with Joey Logano. Joey Logano just has this somehow way of staying in the top 10. So I think he's going to find his way into some great points. And then Ross Chastain, I think, is going to get another win or two up his sleeve. And Denny Hamlin's going to get a win for sure. I 100% think that.
All right, and for the championship pick, so I don't think the champion will win the race this year. That's my bold prediction. I think Chase Briscoe is going to go back to back at Phoenix, and I believe Chase Elliott will win the championship. I feel like this has been his year. He's been very solid. I would not be surprised if Chastain gets wrecked at the final race because that's where it really counts the most. So that's why I'm not picking him. I'm going to go with Chase Elliott for the championship this year.
Man, if Rochester wins the championship, that'd be amazing. But so for the race, I do agree with you, Mike. I was thinking of a different driver that's not in the playoffs that's going to win the race. I'd say Kevin Harvick. He had been eliminated earlier in my bracket. I would say Kevin Harvick wins at Phoenix. He has a great record there. I could see him winning. Even though he's kind of struggled at the track the last 2 years, he's had a solid history there. But my championship pick is also Chase Elliott. I feel like his year, as you mentioned, he's just been so consistent on so many tracks this year. Had definitely been the fastest car. It seems like every race almost. And with their team, they have experience. He's won the championship before. I think he's going to win the championship this year as well.
I'm going a bolder pick. I do think that someone else not in the playoffs is going to, or in the the last round, I guess, is going to win. And I think that person is going to be Chase Elliott. I think Chase Elliott will get that, but I do not think that Chase Elliott will have that standard to get there. I personally believe that Ross Chastain will do it.
Yeah.
Ross Chastain is going to do it, man. I believe it. And, I just think that like with all the mess ups he's had a really good year. And I hate this, and I like Ross Chastain, but he's been more on the border with me recently, as of like half this season. So,
Yeah.
but I give him some credit. But he has been very consistent, and I think people should start taking notice how fast he's been. If there's one other guy I can think of that's been just as fast as Chase Elliott, it's got to be Chastain. I mean,
Right.
his car has been fast, and I think Phoenix is going to be a great racetrack for him, and I think he's just going to kill it. So
Right.
that's
See, yeah, because I don't know if you guys remember toward the middle of the season, like the halfway point when we did these playoff predictions, I was very high on Ross Chastain. I was like, okay, Ross Chastain, he's my lock to win the championship, no doubt. But then, he started getting into more drama, and I'm a little concerned that somebody is going to take him out right as the championship race happens. So I just thought I would go with the safer pick, go with Chase Elliott. But I would not be surprised at all if Ross Chastain won the race. He's having a heck of a season. He's been very consistent, but I don't know. It's just a safe pick. If I'm wrong, I'll do my dance on IG. But Cam, if you're wrong, you realize you got to dance on IG, man, right? We're doing this
yeah.
right
But
now.
hold
This
on,
is
though,
video proof.
Hold on, though. What if we're all wrong?
Then we'll all do it.
Yeah, because
We'll all
you
go
guys
on a three-way. We will all go on a three-way IG live and dance.
And embarrass
Here's
her.
what I'll laugh about. here's what I'll laugh about too, is if I'm right and then two people that pick Chase Elliott got to dance, I'm gonna have the greatest time of my life because that means both of you are gonna have to hold the L.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
that's gonna become a legendary meme.
yeah, hey, I'm sure you'll know how it feels, just like you did last time, Christian. So
Yeah.
you'll be all right.
I don't mind it.
I
don't
mean, you know what? You know what? I'm not the biggest fan of like dancing, and I don't mind going live on IG, but I mean, if I gotta take the L, I'll be a man and I'll take the L and dance on IG live. Why not?
Man, I'll get straight up on that Nasboys podcast account if I got to, and I'll start busting it down on the camera. I don't care.
Anyways, oh man.
I mean, I guess we can before we get into our race picks, even though me and Christian just said our cup race picks, we could talk about some of the news going on in NASCAR because this was a very news-filled week. We already mentioned Jeremy Clements is out of the Xfinity playoffs now for now, unless by some miracle he wins this weekend at Darlington. But some other things, Denny Hamlin is not going to be racing in the Xfinity race. He was supposed to in, I believe, the 18 car. But he has soreness all over, like his hips, his legs, his back, and his neck, and he's taking the safe route, not racing this weekend because of the new car, and he's unhappy per usual. He's got to complain about the new car, which he's not wrong because there has been some injuries. His driver, Kurt Busch, just got taken out for the season practically because of a concussion. But I don't really know what to say about that. Christopher Bell is going to be racing in the 18 car, so I don't know what to say for Denny Hamlin getting hurt.
Yeah, I mean, he did take a pretty hard hit in that wreck. I didn't really think it was that serious, but yeah, the next gen cars have had more injuries recently, and I know a lot of people have been talking about it, but it is probably the smart idea to not have him in the Xfinity race, so he could get rest and he could just watch it because he usually does race the Xfinity series at Darlington, so it is sort of a surprise. But then again, it's the smart thing to do. I will say, there is something I have to say about the Bubba Wallace Kurt Busch thing. But Cam, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'd like to say first of all, prayers to Denny and all these drivers. I feel like before every race, I feel like a prayer is always important because they're going in some really fast cars on a dangerous. I mean, think about people and how idiots. You see people flipping on the highway and they're going 75 miles per hour. Think about going 200 on a track that's meant to be raced on. I mean, it's crazy to think about. And yeah, you have noticed a lot more injuries, but at the same time, with all those injuries, even with the injuries that they've had, it would have been a lot more serious and worse for them if it wasn't for the protection NASCAR has now. And that's just my personal opinion.
Right. I agree with that. And speaking of the whole Bubba Wallace and Kurt Busch thing, it's very odd. Bubba Wallace is going to be driving the 45 for the rest of the season, and Ty Gibbs is going to be driving the 23 for the rest of the season because they wanted to get more owners points for the 45, which I don't know what to say about this at all because it's just so stupid to me. Because here's the thing. Owners points, I mean, I'm sure they matter, but I just was looking at it earlier today. They're 12th in owners points. The 45 car owner points is 12. They're not gonna jump from 12 to first in 10 races. They're gonna stay possibly get a top 10, but I mean, it's just so stupid to me. I think that it'd be better if they put Ty Gibbs in the car and just leave Bubba in the 23, but I don't know what to say. It's just very odd to me. And if Kurt Busch comes back, he's going to be driving the 23. It's just stupid. I don't know what to say. I don't know what Denny's thinking there.
Well, I will say this. I think they're doing it. I know there's going to be some people like, oh, they're doing it so Ty can get more cup time, stuff like that. But I think it's smart to, Kurt should just, sit out till he's healthy. Bubba Wallace, I feel like why would they change that though? I mean, he's already with the team. Yes, they've had pick crew changes with Bell, but like, why would he just go to the 45? It is very odd. It just doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. But that's just how NASCAR is now. But I was just laughing a little bit earlier. I don't know if y'all saw on the screen, but Cam was just making some funny faces. I couldn't help it. But is there anything you want to add, Cam, about the situation?
No, and No, I make funny faces all the time. If it's, if you guys know me personally, which some of you probably do, I make funny faces all the time on calls. Sometimes I'll just start staring off and just, just a bunch of faces I'll make. But no, I don't. There's nothing else I really have to say.
All right. So one more thing is that some guy with the name of Tanner Gray on iRacing was not Tanner Gray, the NASCAR driver. It was just some guy with his name or whatever. He was like saying a bunch of like racist crap or whatever. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I could say it because it might offend some people, but basically he was saying like racist crap toward like Muslims and it was an odd situation, but Gray claims that he was not the one saying it, and he does not have an iRacing account besides the one with his mother's name, and he hasn't used it in a while. So just an odd little situation that I felt like needed to be brought up.
Yeah, it is an odd situation. And one thing I will say, I was on a show a couple weeks ago. There's a driver that races in some GT class or Trans Am class, but his name's Darren Mock. He's friends with Tanner Gray, and he says that he got iRacing. He was doing iRacing. So he said Tanner Gray has had experience with iRacing. I don't know if that's more recent. I don't know how long he's known Tanner Gray, but I find it weird that he make a public apology like that, even though he did in this public apology say
Well,
that he didn't have an account. But like, if it's not true, why would you make a public apology?
Yeah.
I mean, there's people with different names, obviously. I mean, I'm sure there's, people with our names out there that we don't know, of course. But I think that's why, because everybody was like scrutinizing him, like, oh, cancel Tanner Gray, like the usual stuff that you say when you think somebody screws up like that. So of course he'd have to say something that, look, guys, it's not me, please, because he wants to keep his ride, I guess. And if that's the case, that it wasn't really him, then they should back off of him. But if it was really him, and that is the stupidest apology I've ever heard, if it's really him, we
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Sussy.
That's my new thing. Listen, every time I find something suspicious, I was gonna start doing that.
Oh man, that was a good response.
All right. Anyways, now to finish out the episode, let's get our picks really quickly for this weekend's races. We got Cup and Xfinity again. The trucks have been off for like 3 weeks. I don't know why. So for the Xfinity series, Kyle Larson is racing. I'm gonna go ahead and say him.
You always steal my pick, Mike. Why is it every single Xfinity race you take my pick?
Because Kyle Larson is the easiest pick in the book. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. Xfinity series, and he has experience there. I mean, why not him win?
Yeah. I don't care. I'm hopping on the bandwagon. Kyle Larson's winning this, man. Come on now. That's just obvious.
Imagine he doesn't win and we'll all look stupid.
I'll feel like an idiot. I'll probably make a bunch of roast about Larson if that happens.
Imagine Bubba Wallace wins.
Bubba Wallace coming out of nowhere and wins. All right. So for the Cup race, me and Christian just mentioned it. I picked Joey Logano.
Joey, yeah, I had Denny Hamlin, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I'm going Denny Hamlin, baby. All right.
Ooh.
That FedEx car is coming back in again, baby boy. All right. He gonna hit him with them barbecue rib slap. And get a nice old W again, because I just feel like that's Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, he's very expected as a driver. Like, like there's some drivers that you wouldn't expect to do stuff, and you're like, oh, that's unexpected. Denny Hamlin, you're like, yeah, I know, I expected that. He's just that type of guy.
Well, one thing I want to mention about this, I mean, last year Denny Hamlin won Darlington at the end when Kyle Larson, was trying to send it and he hit the wall. But I remember last year when we were doing these picks, this was like around the time Denny Hamlin had those allegations, but it blew over.
Yeah.
Everyone just, went away with it. It just wasn't heard from again. And I said, Denny Hamlin's going to, silence the haters and win. So I mean, I just see Hamlin winning at this track again, even though I do not like the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe Denny can prove his wife wrong.
Yo, okay.
I mean, what?
Is his wife wrong? We might have to cut that out. Yeah.
But anyways, Dale Jr. We was at Wilkesboro, so he brought that place back. I just had to add that in at the end as well. So thank you, Dale.
All right. And so with that, that will conclude this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Make sure you guys follow our socials. Join the Nasboys Fantasy League. Follow the NASCAR Onboards account. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And we will see you guys in the next podcast episode. Peace.
You only calling what I